So your focus, as the name suggests, is development, and your organization has been involved in funding a lot of the different markets in Africa. Yet these markets and these governments are really putting most of their resources on recurrent. That conflict of focus, how does that affect your work and the choice of projects you put your money in?
This is a legacy issue that they're trying to address, but increasingly now, if you see more of the resources going on to developmental aspects of the budget. And the big debate now, in fact, in Kenya between the center and the counties is that center seems to be saying, put your money on development projects, not on recurrence. So clearly the commitment from government is very palpable in terms of wanting to focus expenditure on developmental and less on recurrent. Having said that, though, Bonnie, recurrent will always be there. You need wage bills, you need upkeeps and so on. The challenge of economic leadership here is to find a good balance between the recurrent and the development budget.
Is there a mechanism within your structures to sort of try to encourage these governments to go into the development way?
Well, of course, the best vehicle we have for doing this is the policy dialogue that we have, that the IMF and everyone else has with government. When they are doing their budget, we advise, we consult, we cajole government to focus more on the development, less on the recurrent. But to be honest, in Kenya, you don't need much prodding and pushing. The commitment is there.
The commitment is present.
You have to bear in mind, your president is a former Minister of Finance himself, who understands these issues all too well, and is driving the process to move in that direction. But we do have very regular consultations with the Cabinet Secretary for Finance, Treasury, and through that process, we do work with government to help move in that direction.
Let's talk a little bit about accountability. Are you happy with the kind of way these resources that you extend to these markets and these governments are used, and how it is documented? Walk us through the accountability process. Are you happy with that?
Well, there is always room for improvement, whether it's Kenya or the UK or the US.
Right.
There's always room for improvement. I think largely our resources are used for the purpose they are intended. And we have several mechanisms in place to ensure that. From the time we appraise a project, we involve the community along with the government, so that there's a community awareness and buy-in. Once we disburse money into the country, we do so against performance-based request, so that what we are releasing is reimbursing, in most cases, what is already done. Sometimes we may release in advance, but we have several safeguards in place to make sure that there is no leakage. Now, of course, this is a system of human beings, and there's always room for leakage. And where we find it, we act very aggressively to investigate it, to prosecute it. We work through the government of Kenya, the anti-corruption agency, and so on. And we have had, I don't recall in the past almost 3-4 years that I've been here, that we've had any case that has gone to investigation. Where we found issues that need attention, we've brought them to the attention of the government, and action has been taken. So we're satisfied.
Right. Research is obviously a big part of the work that you do and the organization does in Africa. Let's have an outlook of, say, 2015, 2016 in the Kenyan market. What would be the best projects or sectors to put your money in, and what sectors do you consider risky?
Well, unlike you, I don't have a crystal ball to look into, but just from general observation, clearly this is a market on the rise. The trajectory is very clear. The direction of travel is going up. So some of the key sectors, I think, that will be profitable and will have a significant impact are clearly the traditional ones, the IT sector, Kenya with all its innovation in IT, the financial sector. You've seen the returns recently for the members of the Nairobi Stock Exchange, but even more newer sectors such as infrastructure, energy, for example. I think the energy market in Kenya is set to boom. Manufacturing, clearly Kenya has a comparative advantage in manufacturing. Once they take care of the energy bottleneck, and with the commitment to produce 5,000 megawatts in 36 months, clearly the energy bottleneck will be addressed and manufacturing will be a very attractive option. Agriculture itself, even now with tourism on the decline, agriculture, infrastructure and manufacturing are picking up the slack. So I think the Kenya economy will be a good bet.